Uh, Morning, Emma. Good to see you.
Morning, you're right.
Yeah, welcome to the masterclass this morning.
Thank you.
Just getting things prepped. Okay, I'm just going to make this window a little bit smaller. There we go. Hopefully you guys can all see that. That's the bit of a slide deck that we're going to run through today. So good morning, everyone. I was about to say good afternoon because we used to run these sessions at 2 p.m, but we felt that the 2 p.m. session was a bit like the graveyard session. We didn't get a huge uptake on the 2 p.m. sessions, so we've just gone back to a morning slot to see if that kind of gets a bit more interest and we get a few more people along. But welcome to today's lead generation masterclass. Today we're looking at marketing mastery, campaigns that connect. Whether you're tuning in from near or far, I'm thrilled to have you with us today. I'm your host, Alex Smith, the founder of a company called Leadith, and Leadith is very much about automating your lead generation through LinkedIn. So that's the focus. Bit of a story, how I got into LinkedIn lead gen. I kind of scaled up an e-commerce business for 10 years ago, which I'm still involved with, currently looking to exit that over the next 6 months. But Leadith for the last 3 years has been my main focus, and that's working with small business owners, helping them out to kind of understand and navigate LinkedIn and generate sales. And we use a lot of automation tools to kind of help them in that whole process. Just a bit of a roadmap overview. Some of you might have seen this before. We're helping people who are struggling to get sales on LinkedIn to having more sales and more time. And the way this works is there's 6 different steps that we look at. Our platform provides access to an extensive database of over kind of 350 million verified work emails, over 700 million enriched B2B contacts via LinkedIn, which we'll look at later. And once we've got our audience, the second step is to identify those key people who we need to be engaging with. And then we customize your LinkedIn profile to make sure it communicates with that audience with precision, laser focus. So they know straight away what it is you do and how you can help them. And certainly in Emmanuel's terms, that's is going to be thinking about how he can get that across to his audience in a way that they can understand it. Step 3 is all about leveraging multiple touch points with prospects on autopilot and engage with them. We use a lot of AI in that process, and that is the creation of personalized videos, messages, just to boost the number of connections you've got and get a better response rate. Step 4 is all about email outreach, and we look to take the conversation over to email because that's kind of the natural progression from a LinkedIn conversation. And at this step, this is when we can personally step in to automate that follow-up process as well. Step 5 is all about content. It says video content there, but it relates to all types of content that you're putting out on platforms. We work with clients to create 13 distinctive 1 to 2 minute videos, and our team kind of does all of that with one of our kind of pro plans. And it's to help you establish you basically as a thought leader, as a kind of industry influencer, and that generates inbound inquiries as well as the outbound strategies that we've got going on. And finally, the thing that kind of cements all of that is having a really good CRM system to manage all your appointments and move all those highly qualified leads into a system where they're sent emails, reminders, and and that's kind of like the whole system as it works. So Leadith has a lot going on. We've got a school community which looks a little bit like this one here. This consists of a discussion board. We've got classrooms where you can move your way through different modules. If you're a paid client, you can actually access the client drop-in recordings and their sessions, one-to-one sessions with me, 1 to normally 2 or 3 at those sessions. But you can actually freely access stage 1 and 2. You don't need to pay. You don't need to be a Leadith client for that. But we look at more information around your target audience. We look at updating your personal LinkedIn profile. But yeah, there's a whole host of different things available in the Leader community. A bit of a leaderboard going on in there as well. So back to today's session. So we're looking at marketing mastery, campaigns that connect. So in today's digital age, the ability to craft a really engaging campaign is not just beneficial, but it's essential. And as we kind of navigate this crowded place, I mean, I talk about LinkedIn quite a lot. That's my focus. There's just so much noise out there. So how do we ensure that our voice is just not going to only be, seen, but actually people are going to start to see that and act upon it? And how can we kind of transform those casual viewers into really loyal customers and hopefully advocates going forward? So this session is all about kind of breaking down these big questions into actionable strategies, and we're going to explore the art and science behind effective content marketing. And we're going to uncover different ways that we can optimize your email marketing efforts, and also discuss different tactics that are going to help you to boost your social media engagement. The goal is simple, fairly ambitious, but we want to equip you with some effective tools and certainly a lot of knowledge that's going to help you to craft these campaigns that are going to then captivate your audience, hopefully driving more clicks to the website, but also more conversions, more conversations with your audience. Getting quite a bit of noise from you, Richard. So if you can just mute your microphone, that would be helpful. Thanks for that. Good to see you, by the way. It's been a while. Let's embark on this journey. So we're going to break this down into three little sections. So let's get started. First section, we're going to focus on three fundamental areas. The first one being content marketing strategies. So here we're going to explore how to create compelling content that's really going to engage and retain your audience's attention. We're going to discuss how to tell your brand story in a way that's going to resonate, how to generate value through your content, and how to plan content that's going to align with your audience's journey, right the way from that initial awareness, top of funnel, through to the decision-making process. We're then going to look at email marketing in a bit of detail. We'll probably spend a bit more time on email marketing. The idea is to dive into the specifics of email marketing, covering everything from compelling, captivating subject lines, designing the emails for optimal user engagement, also look at segmentation, different personalization techniques that we've seen and have used to increase open rates, click-through rates as well. We can look at them. We really want to ensure that those emails are being seen and acted upon. And then that will take us into our final section where we'll look at social media engagement. And this is all about this section will be teaching you how to leverage different platforms to connect with your audience. You might not be aware of where your audience is even and what audiences sit on different platforms. So we can look at that. We'll cover strategic posting, the power of interactive content, and how to use analytics to drive your social media strategies forward. So each of these three areas, they offer kind of unique challenges and opportunities. So hopefully by the end of today, you'll just have a few takeaway tips that you can then apply, and maybe some tools. We'll look at tools as well. By no means I'm not the expert in the room. You know, we've got Victor here with us. Victor is a seasoned marketeer. He works for Leadith. He does a lot of our own in-house kind of comms and manages all our social media strategies. So if we've got any questions, I might bring Victor into the conversation. Victor's currently based in Nigeria, and we're delighted to have him with us as well. So the first thing then, content marketing strategies. Let's have a look at this. So we're going to talk about LinkedIn quite a bit. And firstly, we talk about LinkedIn because it's not just any old social media network. It's actually designed for professionals. And when you're in business, that is the key thing. We want to be dealing with B2B. So if your audience is people in business, or you're looking to build up strategic partnerships of people in business, then LinkedIn is a great platform for that. It's a vibrant community where people, are shaping their business decisions, and there's a lot of influencers there. Partnerships are often formed. You can also kind of see what different market trends are currently being set with some bigger and more established businesses. It's currently got over 700 million users. So the potential reach, if your customer is there in a B2B environment, then hopefully that's where we'll find them, and we can look at that in a bit of detail. I think some of our other sessions pick up on that. The challenge is not just to reach them, but obviously we want to connect with them. This is very much a relationship building platform. And the way we do that is through meaningful content that's really going to engage with them and hopefully drive them into a conversion place where they're going to, spend some money with you. So when we think about kind of a LinkedIn content strategy, the first thing we need to look at is it's crucial to understand who we are speaking to. What are the challenges that they face? What are the the solutions that we can offer to them? And if we start to put content around these things, it's going to start to stick and resonate. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. It's got quite rich analytics and different tools within it to help you to kind of research and define that buyer persona. Just a kind of a basic keyword search in LinkedIn will generate not just people, but it'll also generate businesses that are posting that keyword. It will generate posts and articles that people have published, newsletters, groups. There's a whole host of events that go on LinkedIn, similar to this one, and that is just vital for understanding. What is it that your customers, what's their pain point? What is it they're struggling with? LinkedIn, you can also put polls out and things like that, and that's a really helpful way at kind of understanding. Once you've started to connect with lots of people, that audience, you can put these polls out to gauge their opinions on, where they're seeing the challenge. So creating valuable content on LinkedIn, I mean, this is all about, there's got to be value there. Rubbish content just doesn't get shared. Valuable content will get shared. Think about sharing insights. Industry insights are fantastic. You could maybe write articles. Could be posts that speak directly to your industry. Think about maybe a case study. So if you're fairly established, you might already have some really good client relationships. Case studies are a really powerful way of you showcasing your success, and that's going to hopefully resonate with that audience as well. So just remember, every single piece of content that we're going to put out there on the platform, it needs to kind of help you to kind of establish your authority and just show people how you solve kind of real problems, and that's kind of the aim of it. We need to be leveraging different content formats. So if you're just sticking to polls or just sticking to posts, the chances are that your content's not going to be seen potentially by other people. Recently, I've realized that it's great doing the LinkedIn lives. It gives you a great platform, but ultimately a lot of people don't engage with the live platform. So you need to find content that's going to appeal to a wide variety of learners. So think about mixing it up. I'm going to go to LinkedIn audios probably in 2 weeks' time, just to try that out. I've never really done a LinkedIn audio, but it's a completely different style of platform, more of like maybe a engaging podcast with a panel or something like that. So we're going to have an experiment with that. So utilize lots of different formats. Keep your content kind of dynamic and engaging. Feel free to repurpose it as much as you can. Videos often have a really high engagement rate. So we talk about that in one of our sessions where we look at session 5 about video content. They're just a lot more personal. They grab attention a lot more effectively than just a plain text post on LinkedIn. Engagement is pretty key though. And this is probably where I kind of let the side down quite a lot. It's great to put the content out there, but if you're not actually engaging with the people that are responding with that content, then it's kind of wasted marketing. We need to respond to those comments, and participate in discussions, and stay active and relevant on LinkedIn groups. And that's what LinkedIn wants us to do. It wants us to be spending more of our time on the platform and not shooting off to other sites or so LinkedIn's just hungry for our time, like any of these social media networks. So it's important to kind of allocate time in your diary for this. And it's something that I've only just recently kind of cottoned onto this and have a set half an hour slot to just go through notifications, go to, whose birthday is it this week, send them a happy birthday message, and just see if a conversation can be started on the back of that. So this interaction is not only just going to boost your visibility, but it also helps build trust. And that's what we're looking for here. We're looking for, people to know you, to trust you, and then hopefully, as a result of that, they're more willing to spend some money with you. So truly, to succeed on LinkedIn, it's essential to kind of monitor the performance of our content. There's tools in LinkedIn in the analytics. If you've got content creator mode turned on your profile, it's going to help you to see which posts are going to get the most engagement or leads. You can look at those analytics, and they'll tell you, which on the insights, which that helps you to then refine your strategy, and you can improve your content and the effectiveness of that content over time. So think about also how consistently you're going to be posting. We need to have kind of like a routine. So I have a kind of 13-week cycle, and I post, Monday to Friday. Saturday, I might post a Saturday or Sunday. At the weekend, it might be a personal something I would post. So if you can plan that content calendar kind of wisely, think about the consistency. And if you're thinking about, what is it you can actually put out there, we've run quite a few different sessions in terms of looking at different ways you can kind of structure that content. So we do thought leadership on a Monday, kind of Monday motivation. You'll see a quote from someone influential, and that resonates with the audience. So we put those out there. Then maybe on a Tuesday, we do Testimonial Tuesday, and that'll be a client testimonial, so showcasing, what a great job we've done for them. That is really powerful. Thursdays, we tend to put an engagement creator out there, so it could be a poll, something that's going to really engage with the audience, or it could be a snippet of a video or something like that. So you can really start to mix it up. But yeah, think about your audience, and how that content will add value to them. So a new thing that we're just running currently is this thing. This is called the LinkedIn Lead Challenge, 4 days to explosive growth. And this is actually a 4-day challenge event that I'm going to be starting next week on Monday. So we go 9 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And you can find out a little bit more about this on the website. So if you head over to leadeth.io, there's a little drop down which will take you to the registration page here. The LinkedIn Leadeth Challenge is all about helping you to identify this buyer persona. So some of the stuff we've touched on today, we're going to look at that in a bit of detail, help you to create your own story brand framework, so you can start to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Day 2, we will look at how to engage and connect with prospects, where you can find these prospects on LinkedIn. So we're going to set a challenge, going to basically walk you through the process, do it with you, find 20 contacts from your existing network, and we're going to find 100 new second-degree contacts that you're not yet connected with. So if you're up for that challenge, do join us for this and sign up for this here. Day 3, we're going to look at content creation, lead nurturing. Victor's going to be doing quite a bit on that for us in terms of what we've just looked at now, in terms of having a bit of a strategy behind what we're putting out there. And then day 4, we're going to look at conversion strategies and scaling up. So things, we'll look at maybe some common objection handling methods. So it's more kind of salesy, but we'll look at maybe some tech and systems that can automate what we've done. So if you can automate all of this, it's actually a lifesaver. It's really good. So any participant that comes along to all 4 sessions, they're just 45 minutes to an hour, similar to the Masterclass sessions. I'll put them into a prize draw to win a Leadeth Growth subscription for 3 months. Which is worth around about £630. So there is a lot of value there. So if people are keen and want to learn this stuff, great, I want to invest in them as well. So there's a nice prize for you there. So going back to our masterclass, let's move on to email now. So email marketing remains one of the most cost-effective tools in digital marketing. It offers us kind of an unparalleled reach, and the potential for personalization is there as well. And obviously, with the introduction of AI these days, it really helps us because we can actually kind of really get stronger open rates, stronger click-throughs, because the emails are just a lot more personable. So let's break down kind of email marketing. We're going to look at a few key areas here. Subject lines. Subject lines are probably the most important thing with an email. If you don't get the subject line right, it's not going to grab the attention. That compelling subject needs to kind of open the open rate. The purpose of the subject line is to get people to click on the email and open it. So some top tips for subject lines. Let's have a look at these. Be clear and concise. So think about your subscribers, your prospects. They're busy people. We've got to make sure that the subject line clearly conveys the value of what that email is going to bring to them. And it's got to be done in a few words. Some of the best campaigns I've run are the 1-word, 2-word subject line. Interested with 3 question marks works really well for me. Obviously, if you can use action orientated language, so starting with verbs like discover, grab, join, learn, those kind of they just create a sense of urgency in the email. So hopefully people will open them. Don't forget, you can actually personalize that subject line. Most software tools will allow you to put like a first name field in there. So, if you can put the recipient's name on that subject line or some other bit of personal information that's going to catch their eye, that's going to increase the open rate. And then finally, we need to be testing and refining what we're doing. Yeah. So think about using A/B split testing. Try 2 different subject lines, see which works better, and then that will help you to kind of refine and get better and better as time goes. Think about the design of the email for optimal user engagement. So when you think about the visual appeal, use a clean, attractive design that's going to, align with your brand. If you've got a set of branding guidelines and certain colors that you use, the emails need to be visually appealing. They can't be too overly complex, and we don't want to go too fancy with too many images because obviously they get stuck in junk folders. So deliverability is a key thing in terms of email marketing, and that's something that we have specifically run on these masterclasses before, is looking at DKIM and getting all your SPF records correct with your email server to make sure you can send out lots of emails and they're getting delivered. So the visual appeal is quite key. Responsive design, we need to ensure that the email will look good on any type of device. So it's got to reflow to a mobile phone, because so many people are using mobiles these days to check their emails. So that email needs to look good and work on a mobile as well as a desktop. The obvious thing that sometimes so many emails even forget these days is a clear call to action. There's got to be a clear, compelling call to action in that email, whether it's easy to read, whatever you want them to do. Go to a blog post, claim a discount, register for a specific event. Just make it stand out. And often, if you include kind of 3 or 4 of those call to actions, you're going to increase the chances of getting them to click through. Whereas if you've just got 1, it's very easy to get that to miss out on that call to action. So that's a little bit on design. Think about segmentation as you start to kind of collect emails from different sources and different places. That audience is quite a wide, broad audience. So when you start to think about segmentation, you can actually divide your list into smaller segments based on criteria. And it could be things like demographics, could be where they're based. You could do a US email just to your US-based clients. You could do a UK email to the UK ones, because that audience is going to react differently to the message that you send out. So you can really start to personalize it and tailor it to a specific segment. Think about personalization. So going beyond just the hello first name, and tailor that content to the interests and behavior of that specific segment. Personalizing those emails often will deliver you a higher transaction rate in terms of engagement and people clicking through. Think about dynamic content, using dynamic content that may change based on the user's past behavior. So you could say, right, if they've previously been on the website and you've got a record of that, so there's so many tracking tools and things that help you with that these days. But it helps you to send a more appropriate message. If they've clicked on a certain product page on your website, that's brilliant, because that's a great buyer signal, and you can then send them a personalized email that is tailored to that behavior. So that's what we're talking about when we think about dynamic content. Really powerful to start to utilize that in your campaigns. So to improve the kind of open rates and click-through rates, here are some top tips. Think about the timing. So when you send your emails, that's going to be a key thing that's going to vary across different sectors and audiences and industries. So it's important to try to find the best time to do this. And you can only do it through testing and testing that audience database that you've got, seeing the results. So we kind of mix it up a little bit. What we find is the really early morning emails, the kind of the 7, 8s, just get, people get bombarded with emails there. So when you actually start to send the emails a bit later on, maybe closer to maybe 10 o'clock, they're more likely to be seen and opened rather than that kind of early morning rush. Think about that engaging content. So, constantly offering value in your emails, whether that's through education, informational, promotional, whatever it is you're putting out there. Just make sure it's something that your audience wants and something that they need. So that's quite key. I think that really helps. And regular reviews. So keep looking and monitoring those email performance stats. Look for metrics like the open rates, the click-through rates, and conversions. If you're measuring conversions, that's going to help you to see what's working and what's not. But yeah, you kind of just need to get on with it and get doing it, which is why the 4-day challenge that we're running next week is hopefully going to keep us to account, and hopefully we can see the stats and we'll start to see how we do that. And we'll actually show you, if you're not used to any email marketing yet, we'll show you some tools that are free to use that you can just get started and start to put this into practice. Just as well on finally, just thinking about GDPR and any other regulations. So we've got to make sure we comply with GDPR and any other data protection. And that's obviously obtaining proper consent to send emails and provide a really clear opt-out to people. Spam filters are a huge, issue. So we need to craft it in a way to avoid those spam filters. And you can actually check your emails before you send them for spamminess. And it's basically the links you're using and the words you're using in the email. Things like the word free, that's quite a spammy word. If you put that in the subject line, it'll probably drop it straight into junk emails. So so quick. Keep your list clean and engaged. So yeah, that's going to really help you to have a good quality set of data there. So just a quick recap, think about those effective subject lines, make sure you've got a user-focused design. Think about segmenting and continually checking and improving what you're doing. When you start to focus on those different areas, you'll be much more effective in what you're doing with emails, and hopefully be able to start reaching your audience and driving them into action rather than just them just clicking unsubscribe all the time. So happy to discuss any areas from that section. That was quite a big chunky section, that emails. We did run a poll earlier, just see if there's some votes. That was the answers for the poll. Which aspects of creating engaging marketing campaigns interest you the most? We had content marketing strategies was 3 votes, email marketing optimization 2 votes, and social media engagement was 4 votes. And that's the next section that we'll come to. So we just pause the screen share, just come back into the room, say hello to everyone. Any thoughts on kind of what we've looked at so far? So in terms of LinkedIn strategy and also a bit of a focus on email marketing. Good to know kind of what you guys are up to. What you're doing in terms of this stuff. Feel free to unmute yourself.
At the minute, we've kind of paused our email campaign at the moment because we're having issues with the people that was running it for us. So it's been paused for a while now, but it is something that we're looking at getting back into doing. We're just going to find another source, I suppose, because we don't really have the resources internally to manage it.
Okay.
In regards to emails, I have been trying to mix up the subject lines and just seeing which ones are working. Is a question better? Is kind of just touching around the subject more appealing rather than like saying, are you looking into your ERP project yet? Just put in project. Because if they see the word ERP, they might not then click on the email as such. So just keeping it brief. To some degree, because the people that we are talking to will be looking into many projects anyway, so then they'd have to click on the email to see which project it is that we're referring to and things. So
yeah, and in terms of the volume of outreach, how many sort of emails would you be sending in on a monthly basis, or when you were doing it?
I think it was 250 a week, so about 1,000 a month.
Okay.
But because of our the solution that we provide is quite unique, we don't get that many hot leads. It's a long buying journey, if that makes sense. So it's quite hard to.
But still a vital process in terms
Yeah,
of relationship building.
we still have to do it, obviously. It's just a longer journey to go down.
Excellent. Yeah, and Emmanuel, what about yourself? Are you have you kind of explored this yet with the startup?
More so social media and like content marketing. Like, you know, with startups, it's just I guess you kind of like work things out as you go. So we're just trying to work on like mechanizing a system where this is our audience, this is what we're putting out there, and this is the frequency of posts. So yeah, we just sort of trying out different different sorts of content and how we kind of like push that out. But we haven't tried any on marketing yet. Yeah, pretty small team, pretty low on resources, but we're just trying to like figure out how to push out content and how to get best engagement and yeah.
Cool. That sounds interesting. It's always quite exciting. I find that, you know, when you've got the restriction of a small team and you want to achieve so much, so you've got to think, you know, wisely in terms of where best to spend your effort and you spend your money if you have got a little budget for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's yeah, excellent. Richard, where are you at the moment? Are you putting content out there? I've not seen it.
Well, I think I've defined my niche. I've come to the end of my relationship with my Creo coach, and but that has in fact added an awful lot of value to my product. And my product is essentially highly compressed mathematics stroke STEM modules, but they're designed to get parents up to speed much more quickly than the school situation would do, so that they can help their kids in subjects that they would not otherwise be able to help them with. And I'm also would be very interested to know whether this could be classified as B2B. I mean, if you consider the family unit as a kind of business, if you want to call that, then I guess I'm actually interacting with a family. But I would really like to know whether LinkedIn is a good place for doing that with. I've also got another special offering for fellow Christians, which is, if you like, I think that there are modules which would be of quite unique value to them. They wouldn't actually find them anywhere else. And again, I see some Christian groups on LinkedIn, but I would certainly be interested in picking up this challenge and seeing and just testing out how you. I've not actually tried any. All the email marketing I've done is, if you like, sort of sending very much a hand-driven process where I've, if you like, been trying to work out and experimenting with different subject lines. I'm looking to see what I can squeeze out of the Creo network in terms of special offering to Christians, and so I'll be playing with that. So this is really timely. It's also kind of nice to know that we don't have to memorize everything that you've done in the past masterclasses, because I think I can see it's comforting to know that there's some repetition of ideas that perhaps I should have learned from previous stuff. So that's nice to see. So I mean, big question. In your view, is LinkedIn a good platform for that kind of niche?
Yeah, so certainly there's going to be a lot of teachers and heads of departments, and it's more about strategic partnerships as opposed to selling your mathematics course to an end user. If you're looking for end users, then probably a Facebook might be a better place to start to find that audience. But certainly, if you're looking to maybe partner with people to kind of spread awareness of what you're doing to people in education, in terms of a resource, then
that's an idea I hadn't thought of, because certainly educators are very alive and well on LinkedIn. And the fact that I've actually got something that is, if you like, a kind of 0 to 60 that is my USP. That it starts very, very simple. It assumes nothing more than perhaps 1 + 1 = 2 in terms of knowledge, and it labours some of the simple issues, but then moves rapidly on, assuming that new knowledge. And so therefore I don't think I've seen that anywhere else, which is why I devised it. So yes, I haven't thought how I'd partner with educators, or whether they'd see me as some kind of horrible competitor or something like that. I don't know, but I like the idea of partnering with educators at perhaps secondary or tertiary level. So yeah, that's a takeaway from here. Thank you.
Good. Okay. And Victor, any further comments on you in terms of the email marketing side, or we're going to move into a little bit on social media engagement next?
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay. So let me just share the screen, and we're just going to go back into the slide deck. So the final segment of today's masterclass on marketing mastery, having explored the kind of the realms of content marketing on LinkedIn and also email optimization, we're going to turn our focus to a crucial, pillar of any digital marketing, and that's social media engagement. Social media, it's not just about kind of broadcasting the message, it's about fostering a community and engaging in meaningful interactions. So let's dive into how we can elevate our social media strategy, not just to kind of just to reach prospects, but we want to truly engage with them and build kind of meaningful relationships with this audience. So as Richard was alluding to, it's crucial for us to know the platforms. Every single social media platform has its own kind of unique environment and specific audience. LinkedIn, for example, is very much a professional, business focused, which makes it ideal for those kind of B2B interactions. Whereas Instagram, on the other hand, it's kind of under kind of Facebook Meta these days, much more of a visual platform, perfect for brands who maybe want to showcase their products, maybe tell their story visually. So if you're maybe a creative, a painter, or you do kind of commissions for people, then that kind of visual platform is probably a much better place to kind of focus your energy on. And we need to, and the key thing is here, we don't want to kind of dilute what we do across lots of different channels. We want to have the mindset of kind of the power of one. We want to focus on that one platform, do it really, really well. And then once we start to see the results there, then we can kind of replicate out to other channels. So once you kind of start to understand the nuances and what the different platforms, how you can tailor your content on each platform, that will help you to kind of play to the strengths and audiences that are on those platforms. So certainly for kind of me, my focus has always been LinkedIn, because it's a B2B. The software that I'm involved with is very much B2B, coaches and consultants. That's the platform where those people are sat, where that audience is sat. That's where they're spending a lot of their time. We need to create superb content that is going to resonate. And we kind of picked up on content right at the start. That content really needs to add value to our followers if we're kind of gaining followers. Think about informative blog posts, inspiring quotes, interesting maybe industry news, interactive content like polls and quizzes are really good as well to kind of probe your audience. But the key thing here is relevance. The content has got to resonate with that audience and their needs. Think about storytelling. So in previous masterclasses, we've explored the kind of the story brand process, which a lot of people do now in all their posts and content. They tell a story. People love stories. You kind of think about it. The Bible is made up of stories, and Jesus talks in parables and things like that. It's a great way to kind of get a point across is through stories. So sharing success stories, case studies, you're telling a story. Customer testimonials, that's your customer basically telling their story. It creates this kind of narrative around your brand, and it's a great thing that you can leverage. Consistency and timing is key. So regular posting, have a schedule set up, try to do one post every single day if you can. Really excited for next week because Victor's going to teach us about, you know, what the ideal type of consistency looks like for you. But we need to develop what's called a content calendar and follow that content calendar. And it does take time. It is hard work. It's not going to happen overnight. We've got to put a bit of work in there. But these days with things like AI, you know, the generation of this content is getting a lot easier. And that content is going to be more pertinent to the audience. It's going to be more aligned. And we're just kind of adding our personal touch on it as well. But the timing is crucial. So use things like analytics to try and determine when your audience is most active. You know, when are you seeing feeds from your audience? When are they posting? When are they active on the platform? Because that's going to help you to maximize your reach and engagement. So you want to be scheduling your content at the right sorts of times when you know it's going to get seen. It's no good setting all your content, you know, at 11 o'clock at night when your audience is asleep. You know, it's just not going to get seen. The algorithm won't pick up on it. So it's key to kind of understand that all these social media platforms have an algorithm. And when you start to get a feel for it, you'll see, you know, which contents are resonating the most. Look at the posting times. Interaction, as we stated earlier, is key. You know, it's a two-way street, social media. We don't want to just post content. We need to interact with followers. We need to respond to comments, participate in any conversations that may have initiated, just actively engage with other users' content, because that's really helpful as well. I mean, you can be a little bit cheeky. There's a lot of competitors that are posting great content out there, and you can almost scrape that audience who are engaging with that content, you know, and, you know, bring them around to your solution. If there's a differentiator that your competitor's not picked up on and you've addressed it, then that is a fantastic way of kind of harvesting other people's kind of marketing budget. So yeah, don't be scared of commenting and posting on competitors' posts as well. Think about maybe hosting live sessions or webinars. So this I use the Restream platform and sessions to host these on a weekly basis. It's a fantastic platform, you know, it gets seen. When we watch this back, we'll be able to go and see how many people have tuned into the live stream. We can answer any questions and kind of build on it. Facebook, LinkedIn, they both have this kind of live stream platform. And it's all about kind of building engagement, building community. But these live interactions really bring that kind of human touch into a, you know, what is basically a digital connection with people. So make your brand just feel a lot more accessible to people. And then we also need to, you know, monitor, analyze, and adapt. The insights that these social media platforms provide, think about your engagement rates that we're tracking, which types of content is performing best. We need to really think about, you know, what times both posts are getting the most interaction, because that data is really vital. Yeah. So in conclusion, in terms of engagement, think about social media as more than just the numbers. It's about creating those meaningful connections to help you to build that trust and build brand loyalty. So as we wrap up today, just think about what else you could be doing. Maybe could you allocate half an hour in your calendar just to be proactive, putting one piece of content out there and maybe engaging with a little bit of content. So yeah, hopefully you've found some value in today's session. We'll, before we wrap up, there's an opportunity to explore your content strategy in a bit more detail. So I'll just put it up here. We've got this one here. This is an opportunity, if you're tuning on the live stream, to schedule a call, a discovery call, one-to-one call with my colleague. If you want to spend 45 minutes to an hour chatting around LinkedIn strategies, and maybe we can show you some of our software in terms of how we kind of build this out, then I really welcome you to click the button there to schedule a call. If you're tuning in online, do head over to the website leadeth.io. That's leadeth.io. And it's /discovery. That will take you to the discovery calendar where you can book in a session there. So yeah, I've got a few minutes left on the clock. I'm happy to just stick around if anyone's got any questions or wants to, yeah, any further comments.
I wanted to ask actually, the session that you put together, is this more so like content that's written on the company's LinkedIn page, or more so like a personal brand type of thing? Like, what's your...
Yeah, it's a great question. Should we be prioritizing personal pages or company pages? So yeah, I think having a mix of both works really well. People tend to buy from people. So if it's all about kind of relationship building, then you want to be doing it on your personal LinkedIn profile as a priority. If you've got more generic content that you can put out there, things like maybe the testimonial stuff and the case study stuff, I would always share that on the company page as well. So that adds a bit of credibility on there. People will see that you've been active on the company page. Victor, do you want to chip in as well on that one?
Okay, yeah, I think just to make emphasis on what you just said now. So between our personal page and company page, for me, I will go with a personal page because for you to be able to sell or to have a relationship with people, there has to be that trust, right? And if as an individual or as a business owner or as an entrepreneur or a founder, so I believe that for you to have the that relationship and interaction with people, you can start promoting your business on your personal page, right? And people tend to have that trust because they will be able to see the person behind the scene, behind the brand, and maybe in the future you can start building your company page, right? So B2B, people to people, is quite effective than going to the company page. They want to have that interaction, they want to have that trust, and there has to be that relationship. And once that has been settled up, all other things, we just fall in place.
Thank you.
Thanks, Victor. Great. Yeah. So yeah. Any further questions, comments before we say goodbye? Great. Thanks, Victor, for posting the link to the challenge. Yeah, so that's going to kick off Monday, 9 o'clock next week, and we're going to run it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, it will take a bit of time from you, 45 minutes to an hour, but I think it will just add so much value to kind of what you're doing. We've never run this challenge before, so it's the first time we've ever run it, and we're going to put it out there. Everywhere, it's going to be all over LinkedIn. It's going to be all on Eventbrite and other school platforms and other things. So hopefully we're going to create a bit of a buzz with it, and it'd be good to see some of the results that people get from that challenge in terms of new leads, new connections, and hopefully new business from it. But yeah, that's all from me this week. So there's no lead generation masterclass next week because obviously we're running the challenge, but then we'll go back into these the Tuesday morning sessions after the challenge week. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Victor.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Alex, for a very timely invitation. Glad I could make it.
Yeah, hopefully this 11 o'clock slot is a little bit better for people, but yeah, the two
it was for me today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Slightly earlier next week if you're about, but it'd be good to see you there.
Thank you very much.